Yo, what's going on, everybody? What up, what up, what up? What is up, everyone? Happy Wednesdays. Damn, my hair is all messed up right now. Apologize, guys, but welcome to the Wednesday live stream. I'm your guy, Rez, the host of this live for this evening, and I want to welcome everybody that is tuning in. Just give it a few moments here before we start kicking things off, but I just want to kind of give you the rundown of how these pretty much live streams work and how they are. Is that basically I do these lives every Wednesdays. I try to have different topics for you guys, and just talk about life, jerseys, sneakers, toys, whatever I dabble with on the channel. I want to feature it with you guys on the channel. And this live stream gives you guys, I think, the opportunity to real time have a conversation, like without a script or anything like that, just straight off what's going on and, seeing what everybody's up to, man. So that's what these are. I do these live streams every Wednesday. 6:30 now is the new time, guys. 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, like I said, different topics every week. How is my connection, guys? Am I still blurry? Because I still see one bar. It's kind of jumping up and down from 2 to 1, 2 to 1. Hopefully, I'm not as blurry as I was last year. If I am, again, I really do apologize sincerely, man. But please let me know in the comment section, and I would greatly appreciate that because I'm really trying to fix and figure out what the problem is with why my internet is acting up the way it is. But let's see here. I will post a link if any of you guys want to hop on the live. Here is the link for you guys. Right there, right there, right there. I see there's people in here. Shout outs to the 9 people that are in here that are tuning in this evening. Mighty Fan, let's go. Bay Area. Yo, you already know. You already know, Mac. You already know what's up, man. My connection is good now. That's good. I'm glad because I don't know if I could have done another week where I look like that, Oh, we already got smack talkers in here. We already got smack talkers. I see how it is. What up? What up? Rex. What you mean, Rex? I'm just playing. What's up, bro? All right, I got some people that I'm gonna let hop on, and once we get all situated, we'll start with the live. So
Rex Kwando.
Forget about it.
What up, Rex?
Yo, what up?
What's good?
Ah, man. Well, who is this? Who is this?
Boo that man.
No, we don't.
Boo that man.
No. This is Brady's night, okay? This is a goat.
Right. I mean, Brady retiring, we'll see, but retiring, it does remind me. I gotta put this on because we always gotta put that on. We know who we beat to get this.
Here we go.
I got room for more. I got room.
I don't think they have enough gasoline for the light posts. That's all I got to say.
Couple weeks, we're getting another one.
No, I hate to say it, but I'm sure I'm at this point I'm rooting for the AFC. And
okay, even though they beat you a few years ago.
That's fine. The past is the past. I look forward. I don't have to.
I never forget. I never forget.
Oh, that's all right.
That's debatable.
All right. Anyways, what's up, guys? This evening, I have some topics that I, kind of compile for you guys. Want to go over and kind of talk shop with everybody in here. Looks like we got a full room in the house with Stone Cold Steve Boston in the house.
Yo, Rez, why we reversed today, bro? What the fuck?
What is going on, bro? What
Opposites day.
Some of us represent where we're from. I mean, you can't really,
No, I mean, okay. So for those of you who are wondering, what's with what's up with the Brady merch. I mean, obviously, guys, I don't know if you don't know by now, you're probably living under a rock. I'm just kidding. But Tom Brady, I'll kick things off with this. You know, Tom Brady announced his retirement for the second
Tom who?
time, and I'm almost certain it's his final time.
He'll be back in a week.
Page.
Nah,
And you know, it was a bit heartfelt. Not gonna lie, you know, he started tear jerking a little bit in his live. He looked like he was in a beach.
Yeah, he started jerking on it.
Pretty bad over there wherever he was. But anyways, you know, he announced his retirement, and you know, I think now is the perfect time to do it. I thought last season was a perfect time to do it, but you know, he has that mentality, that winning mentality, which is similar to like what Jordan and Kobe had, and you know, I think he just
Jeter,
yeah, that's another one. And you know, it was just like, yo, it's time to go. It's time to wrap it up. And I think what it is, and again, it's hard to not like speculate it this way, but obviously his personal life, I think, definitely impacted his decision this time around. And you know, there's no shame. No shame. It just sucks as sports fans that we are not going to see this man, you know, put his cleats on and throw the ball again. You know what I mean? At least not competitively like that. So for those people who pretty much are not going to see that, I feel bad for you guys. I really do, because Tom Brady, I don't think there's going to be any player that's going to win 7 Super Bowl championships ever. Like, I just don't see it happening. But I know. How do you guys feel about it?
Fuck him.
Wow. Okay.
wild.
It is pretty crazy. Like, just thinking at it, like from it, like as a bigger picture thing. Like, I saw your post, Mac, that you posted on Facebook, and it was a very heartfelt, like, you know, passage that you put, because I mean, like, yeah, like there was a lot of things, you know, that you and I'm sure everybody else has encountered in their lifetimes while he was winning these Super Bowl championships, you know, like seeing friends, getting married, getting a crib, whatever the case may be. And the same thing was for me. Like, you know, I went to pretty much Tom Brady played through my entire high school, middle school, college, you know, years, and even still to this day, you know, and that's the crazy thing about it. You know, I got married like during the time like Brady was like finishing up his career, and it's wild, you know, like there's so many memories that you could just attach to Brady's career, you know what I'm saying, on and off the field. So I know we're all different sports fans here of different teams, but like I know Mac, I know you're a big Patriots guy. Adam, I know you're another big Patriots guy. But like coming from people who are like, you know, diehards of that franchise, and you know, what do you guys? You have any like final thoughts on that, or any thoughts at all?
You want to go first, Mac?
Yeah, because well, why don't you go first? Because I'm worried about what you're gonna say, so I'd rather go last, put a positive spin on it.
Oh, I was actually gonna be nice, but you know, I guess I gotta fulfill the role of the asshole now. No, honestly, it's bitter. It sucks seeing him retire, you know, because I mean, I'm a fan of the Patriots first, and honestly, wasn't a big Tom Brady guy, but like you said, he's been playing since I was in 3rd grade, and here I am about to be 30, and like he's been there through all of it. So you know, I mean, I may not like him, like whatever but he was a big part of the Patriots franchise, whether I like it or not. And I'll be sad because, you know, I mean, that means that, you know, I'm not a kid anymore. And 2, the Patriots probably aren't winning the Super Bowl again for a while. So that sucks. Oh, shut up, Neil.
You just have to watch us do it. That's all.
No.
Get used to it.
You talk after Super Bowl, don't, because I guarantee you, if Mahomes pulls this off with Kelsey, yo,
one of us is in the Super Bowl.
It don't matter. You just keep talking.
What
you guys
have? A couple of the fans on this panel have 5 and 6 championships with their team.
I warned Rez, you in Bay Area. I warned the faithful about putting stuff on the Rocky statue.
No.
But how much of that
told
was
you guys what was
Raiders
gonna
fans
happen.
or Eagles fans trying to stir the pot?
Oh, like Viking fans did in 2017.
No. See,
With
now
the
now we
chance of
got
the art museum stuff.
now,
Wait,
now
wait,
we got a
wait,
big-headed
wait.
we got a
On
big-headed
social
Eagles
media,
fan here.
Jake.
Let me
Everyone can see
let me
it.
finish. Let me finish my thoughts.
Let this man finish his statement.
Let me finish my thoughts. I'm like I said, I'm kind of sad about it, because whether I like him or not, he was a big part of my team for 20 years, 20 years about. And it's like the end of an era, I mean, like I'm not getting any younger. I'm not a kid anymore, and I'm going to be sad that he's gone. Regardless of what other people seem to think, I may not like Tom Brady, but I respect him. So I'm a little not upset. I'm a little sad about him actually retiring. Let's see if he actually does it though.
If you say.
If.
So
I still think he's playing with Josh McDaniels in Las Vegas before the season starts.
Wow. Even after that teary jerk video he did on his Instagram, you still think he'll come back, huh?
Yeah. Let me put it this way: if he doesn't, it's to be expected. If he does come back, though, I won't be shocked.
Okay.
Now, Matt can speak a lot more eloquently than I can, so let's let him have the floor now.
All right.
Man, last year I was maybe a little bit more caught up in it this year. It didn't surprise me. I thought last year he was going to keep playing just because they were so close to winning again. Last year, I mean, they were basically a poor play by their secondary away from going back to the Super Bowl last year. And I think they would have had a good chance to beat the Bengals if they had. But between injuries and, losses in free agency that they had on their defense, that team just wasn't good this year. And, the thought of him, I don't think he would have been able to be successful if he stayed in Tampa Bay. I don't think that team would have been good enough to, compete at the level that he wants to compete at. And I don't know at that point in his career if he really, at the end, if he wanted to start with a new situation, moving to a Las Vegas, even if he knows McDaniels and the system, even with some pieces there on offense. If he moved to San Francisco to be, home. I just think that, at this point in his life and with everything that was on the table, he just was, made the decision to move on. I mean, obviously everything that happened in his personal life. There was a clip from that 10-part documentary series that ESPN did. One of the last episodes, he talks about how he wouldn't want his children to inherit his maniacal, obsessive pursuit of perfection and winning, because he feels like he has missed out on certain parts of his life because of it. And I think that was kind of a harbinger of what came up, with this decision and everything that happened this year. I think, it became apparent that did consume him at times. So even though it was his superpower and kind of got him to the great success that he had, it came with the sacrifice, as it always does. We've seen it with other great athletes in sports where, they do have to make sacrifices to be the best. And I think, the biggest thing for me is the legacy that he leaves behind, as far as how seriously he took his professional career as a football player, his preparation, how hard he worked, and how he, always tried to improve. And I think that if everybody tries to, think about that every day in their day to day, just trying to get better at something every day, it's, the world would probably be a lot better place. But I am excited to see what he does next. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity that I had to watch so many of his games, so many of his great performances. And share those with some of my best friends, you know, like memories that I'll have forever. So yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it. And I don't think he's coming back. Would it surprise me if he did? Kind of, maybe a little bit. I wouldn't be mad about it, but depending on the situation, but I think he's probably done, and you know, we'll see what he does from here.
If I can just add one more thing real quick.
Sure.
Tom Brady and the Patriots are solely responsible for two of the most emotional moments I've ever had in watching sports. The first was when they won the Super Bowl in 2001, 2002, when they won it after 9/11 and everything. I was like 8 years old, and I remember I was like, it's one of the happiest sports moments I've ever had. He's also responsible for not responsible. He was part of one of the worst moments I've ever had in my life when we lost that first Super Bowl against the Giants. I remember openly weeping when they lost. I was inconsolable for 3 days afterwards.
Yep, same.
No, like I said, whether I like him or not, he's been an important part of my sports fandom, whether I like it or not. So I'll give him his flowers as far as that's concerned. He has been a very important part of my sports life.
Do the words "stomp you out" echo? I'm just fucking with you, bro. Well said, man. Well said. For the three other people here that are not, you know, Patriots or Brady guys, like, what do you guys think?
Neil's not allowed to talk during this part.
What's that, Adam?
I said you're not allowed to talk during this part.
Oh, okay. Well, we were supposed to lose in the divisional round, so you know.
Oh my God!
It's okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Well,
you wearing a Derek Thomas jersey next week, Adam? I hope so.
We have a sports segment. Don't worry, Neil. We'll get to that.
No, I listen. It did get, you know, as an outsider for the, you know, New England sports scene, it did get tiring of seeing that team have so much success and constantly there. And you know, the two constants about that team were the hoodie and Brady. And, you know, there's always going to be this argument about, well, who really benefited from who the most, right? And maybe that's a fair argument. But I will say this, and I grew up with, you know, the 90s Bulls and Jordan and watching, you know, him do what he did all those years. And Brady, to me, is as close as far as just having that desire to want to win, regardless of whatever's going on, how old he is, the situation, the players around him, the constant flux, the different rules or whatever comes into the NFL and everything like that, the free agency, taking hits maybe. I mean, he makes more money than all of us are going to see in our lifetimes, but still taking cuts so that other players can come onto the team. You know, doing a lot of good for that franchise for so long and helping to keep them on top. And as an outsider, that's something that I always strive to see for my teams. You know, I would love to have that type of, you know, even if it's half that kind of run of success. And Tom Brady, to me, as you know, all jokes aside and everything about, you know, this, that, and the other thing that whatever throughout his career, I do feel privileged that my team was able to square up against him twice in 2 Super Bowls. We lost the first one, but we got the next one. And, you know, you always want to compare yourself to be great. You always want to compare yourself to greatness. And what does it take to be great? And for that moment back in 2018, and February of 2018, you know, we were able to experience that. And I think against any other team, yeah, it would have meant a lot. But to do it against that dynasty and they even coming off a championship and defending champions, it meant that much more because you know what it takes to get to that level. And when we did it, it just felt extra special. But Brady, to me, will always personify dedication, endurance, and just that absolute desire to win and not let anyone bleep with him, you know, to do it. And hey, look, he's savage as any great athlete's going to be, but it was for a purpose. and that was to try to remain on top for as long as he did, and that's a very hard thing to do. So I think at the end of the day, I'll always, admire from afar, that he was able to do that. And, I do have a lot of, respect for what he was able to accomplish throughout his career. And then the fact that he did it the very next year going to a new team, that's a very difficult thing to do, and he did it. So COVID or not, year or not, he was able to accomplish something that very, very few are ever going to be able to do. So that's my 2 cents on the matter.
Well said. Bay Area, I know you're a big Niner fan like myself, man, but with Brady being from the Bay Area, or playing, San Mateo or coming from there and, playing for Michigan, like, do you have like any sort of significance with like that relationship at all with Brady and the Bay?
It's weird because, in the Bay, obviously, anyone who comes from the Bay, it's like we always have pride in them. But it's for whatever reason, Brady's always been the one guy that people from the Bay seem like they always don't like. From what I've seen, I've always known people in the Bay hate Tom Brady, and it's crazy because he is from the Bay. But for me, it's kind of whatever, to be honest, because I really only watch my teams nowadays. So, like I said, I can go a whole season and never have watched Brady play one time that season. So for me, it's just whatever. He's not a Niner, so I personally don't really care, to be honest. But I mean, I respect obviously what he did. But like the last player that wasn't from one of my teams that I really was kind of like felt something when they retired was like Derek Jeter. But that was because I grew up being a huge Jeter fan. But for me, it's kind of like, good for him. I'm happy he can finally, live a life beyond football, pretty much.
You said that he was never a Niner. I just was waiting for you to say yet.
No, I mean,
it could still happen. Come on. No,
hey, I mean, if he comes, I'll be happy with it. But
what do you mean? That means you gotta get rid of Big Cock Brock.
Until then, it's whatever.
Man, I don't know if you guys. Oh, I don't want to jump too ahead of myself, but yeah, the whole Brock Purdy thing and his injury is so sad, man.
I'm more mad about that.
Is he gonna have to get Tommy John?
Yeah.
They're doing. I don't think they've started the surgery yet, but they're doing more like tests. But it's looking like it, man. Because that
sucks. That kid's fucking special. Like, he's good. Like, Purdy? Based on how he's played this year, I don't know how he managed to be Mr. Irrelevant.
I wouldn't even want to be. I would be pissed if I got drafted by the Niners at this point because it's almost a guarantee you're going to get injured. So it's just like I wouldn't even want to be there. They all get injured. It's crazy.
Same.
No, they're literally a curse at this point. Yeah. It's crazy.
Especially quarterbacks. Like, especially quarterbacks the last couple years. Like,
I wish they would have put Christian McCaffrey at quarterback just once.
Yeah. And again, when you literally have to trudge out Josh Johnson, whose first game experience in the entire season is the second quarter, or no, the end of the.
We don't talk about that man right now. We got to move forward to that. But
come on, it's not his fault.
I don't. Bro, I have a segment dedicated to this. We'll talk about this later. But Jake,
I'm surprised they didn't try and hit you up to come and play quarterback for him real quick.
Do you have anything you want to add, Jake, about Brady's second and quotation?
I mean, what can you say? The dude's a legend. I mean, if you just look at on the field production, 7 Super Bowls. That's more. He has more Super Bowls than, I'm pretty sure he has the most Super Bowls, even more than like all the teams. Like, he has literally the most Super Bowls, period. End of story. Even more than like the Steelers, who had 6, and how many do the Niners have? Is that also the 5? Oh yeah,
5.
So yeah, I mean, he literally has 7 rings.
He has more than the Patriots, which is upsetting.
Yeah, but it was just one of those things too, where he's came from literally like the 199th overall pick in 2000. The dude literally looked like, like a twig. I mean, he really, like, when you actually saw him, like, during his draft stuff, like, I know, like, watching all the documentaries and stuff like that, he didn't look like he was going to make it out of training camp. let alone become the all-time greatest quarterback debatably in NFL history.
Is there really a debate at this point, though?
Well, no, because the reason I say that's because we all know the whole, Patriots Deflategate, this, that, the other things stuff, Everyone's always going to have a little asterisk behind that. But I'm just talking about on the field, between the numbers, he was the best quarterback. And it's not like he had necessarily like the top all-time weapons other than like Gronk and Randy Moss for a few years. I mean, he always had good receivers that knew what to do, but it's not like guys you would consider like Jerry Rice or Randy Moss or even Terrell Owens or, guys like that. You had more like mid-tier to, upper mid-tier, like Julian Edelman's, Amendola's, guys that are more role players. It's not like he had that, a guy that you could just chunk it up to all the time until he got Moss, until he got Gronk. They had to win in so many different ways, and the constant was him. And also, too, the fact that it seemed like he was a genuinely good dude off the field, too. Like, I never really heard a lot of issues as far as, like, off the field stuff. You never really heard a lot of negativity, I guess, per se. Like, that would, like, I mean, today, case in point, there was that whole issue that, like I said, we could talk about that later in the next segment or whatever, but that lineman for the Eagles, and stuff like that, where it's just like, you hear a lot of these different players that just get caught up in stuff like that. But you never really heard that from Brady, per se. And again, it's just, again, whatever you want to say about the Patriots, whatever you want to say about that. I mean, Tom Brady literally, like for most of us in this panel, we grew up on, whether it be, like me and, like case in point for me, I was like 6 years old when he first came into the league. And now I'm going, I'm now 28 years old and he's finally hanging them up. I mean, heck, he could literally be some of the players' dads, you know what I mean? Age-wise on a lot of these players anymore and stuff like that. And a lot of these kids grew up watching him. A lot of quarterbacks probably were in the backyard with, their old Reebok screen printed jerseys and stuff like that, that were like half hanging off and stuff, pretending to be the next Brady or pretending to be the next whoever. So he literally helped, generate, well, maybe not him personally, but he was one of those guys that kind of helped bridge a gap in like NFL history from like the 90s era of like when the Patriots first came up after Drew Bledsoe to now where the NFL is a lot more, gadget NCAA oriented. So, yeah. I mean, hats off to him,
Yeah, well said, man. I think we could all agree that, there was a lot of memories that we could attach or at least pinpoint, whether it be sports related or non-sports related, because it seems like the common thing I'm hearing is like, I was this old when so-and-so was playing and, when he got drafted, or, I witnessed this when, he did this. So not many athletes can do that to a person. And I think the impact that he had will go across, the entire world. Well, at least people who watch football and stuff. You have something you want to add, Mac?
One more thing. Yeah. So one thing that I mentioned today in a video that I did where I went over my Brady collection is, with Brady retiring, his time is done. But for guys that are still out there that are at the top of their sport and have been for a long time, don't try to appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like we're watching LeBron James. We have Steph Curry in the NBA. Alexander Ovechkin in the NHL. Messi and Ronaldo still playing soccer. Like you get the opportunity to watch these guys that have dominated their sports for so long. Like just enjoy that. Forget about all the bullshit, that the media tries to drum up, and just appreciate them for the great athletes that they are and the sacrifices they've made to be great. And, just enjoy it, man. You know, while you can. Like, everybody wants to do the Jordan versus LeBron thing and like talk about why Jordan's better, and just like enjoy him for who he is while he's still here. Because like in 5 years we could be having, or even less than that, we could be having the same conversation about LeBron, and he'll be gone. So, you know, just enjoy it.
Facts. Yeah. I think a lot of people just get caught up in their emotions, and I think they live too much for the now. But you know, people don't realize like until it's done, when it's over, because you know, it's almost like kind of what happened with me, like when I and I'm gonna attach like the whole jersey collecting aspect of things, but like you know, in the years that I wasn't collecting, and you know, for those of you who don't know, I was collecting jerseys as early as like I would say 98, 99-ish. But I really started collecting like in the beginning of like 2000s era. So like, you know, back when the Mitchell and Ness days were deemed as, you know,
The
being,
fabulous days.
you know, back in the days. But it's like now you fast forward, when I got back into collecting, a lot of these players that I grew up watching were now retired, and it made me really appreciate them more. You know, for example, Vince Carter. I'm using basketball players, you know, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, right? Like all these guys that grew up like and played in the that I grew up with like in the 90s, 2000s era are all like pretty much retired. And LeBron is like one of the last few people that are still playing, him and Udonis Haslem. I mean, like, you know, you get my drift. Like these guys were playing when I was like literally starting my collecting or jersey addiction phase, collecting or whatever, and to see them still play, it's just, you gotta soak it in, you know, like let it, like just embrace it and enjoy it, and really just be a fan and just, you know, appreciate it for what it is. Because like Max said, like one day they're here, the next day you're gonna be like, damn, I remember when Braun did that, I remember when Tom Brady did this, I remember when, and people are gonna say that with the players that are currently playing today. You know, all these new stars in the league, you know, the future of the league with like the Morant, the, you know, the Giannis, you know, the Lukas, like all these guys are going to be at that point where you're going to reminisce and be like, yo, that's crazy and stuff like that. So, all right, I want to move on to the next segment real quick. This is something different that I haven't really touched on, but I thought it was kind of sad. And I thought it was also fitting to talk about this because another person is essentially throwing it up and announcing their retirement, and that is Ozzy Osbourne. You know, I grew up as a huge metalhead, you know, and Ozzy was one of those guys that, you know, I always respected as a musician. And I read an article, you know, and I'll just read it to you guys right here. But this article is from theguardian.com, and you know, it's looks like it was published by a Shad D'Souza. Says that former Black Sabbath singer says he has come to the realization that I'm not physically capable to deal with travel. So basically, Ozzy Osbourne has announced that he's retiring from touring due to the declining health. The 74-year-old Black Sabbath singer was due to embark on a tour in the UK and Europe last year, but in a statement said that he has come to the realization that I'm not physically capable, as I know I couldn't deal with the travel required. Says this is probably one of the hardest things I've had to share with my loyal fans. He continued, quote, as you may all know, 4 years ago this month, I had a major accident where I damaged my spine. My one and only purpose during this time has been to get back on stage. My singing voice is fine. However, after 3 operations, stem cells treatments, endless physical therapy sessions, and most recently groundbreaking cybernetics HAL treatment, my body is still physically weak. And one more thing that I'm just going to say, mention here that he quotes is that, believe me when I say that the thought of disappointing my fans really fucks me up more than you will ever know, he wrote. Never would I have imagined that my touring days would have ended this way. So that's really sad. You know, again, you know, I don't really talk too much about music stuff here, mainly because of the copyright stuff, playing music, but, you know, discussing it is a simple thing from Matt. But, I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys listen, or listen to Ozzy Osbourne or Black Sabbath, but
I grew up on that stuff.
It's really sad, man, and it makes me feel old too. I'm nowhere near 74 years old, but it's still really sad to know, because again, like I said, I remember all the Ozfest concerts and stuff, and every time these bands would always pay homage. He's considered the GOAT of heavy metal, and to see him just kind of say that's it, even after he wanted to continue, it's almost similar to the whole Brady situation, you know what I mean? But under different circumstances. Obviously, we all know that Brady could still play, but with Ozzy, it's he doesn't really have a choice, But you guys want to add anything to that? You guys have anything to add?
I do. Well, I mean, like I say, I grew up on Ozzy. My dad grew up on Ozzy. Black Sabbath, I don't know if I can't remember exactly what his nickname was, if he's the Prince of Darkness or something like that.
The Darkness, yep.
He's been doing this for damn near 60 years.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath first came along in the late 60s, early 70s.
1969.
That's nuts.
And they were probably making music even before that too. It's just War Pigs. Let's see here. Paranoid. Crazy Train, when he did a lot of his solo stuff too. He's even more recently, when he did when he was featured on Post Malone's Take What You Want From Me back in 2019 and stuff like that. I mean, he's been around music for a long time. Not to mention the amount of drugs and stuff he was on back in the day. I mean, literally everything.
The life of a rock star.
And my dad and I kind of talked about this too, where we wonder if maybe that's what's keeping this guy alive, because the amount of, pardon my French here, shit that he did to himself and he went through in these 50, 60 plus years and all that stuff too. And the fact that he's even still kicking and still around is amazing. Not to mention, he literally bit the head off of a freaking bat.
Bat heads, I meant then.
Yeah, the bat. Yeah, that was crazy. What was that? Was that a real bat though, or was that
Yes.
It was?
Yes. But technically, you're not wrong, because he was in a meeting with some music execs. They were at a restaurant or whatever, and a dove happened to land near them. And it was and I don't remember the exact context behind it, but he picked the dove up, bit its head off, and threw the fucking bird on the ground.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
I just remember his show. Didn't they have to use subtitles whenever he talked on his show sometimes? Because he didn't know what
That's so funny.
On the Osbourne show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That show came out when I was in high school. So
That was 2003, man. That's fucking.
Yeah, I was middle school.
That was 20 fucking years ago. Holy shit.
so crazy.
I know,
Only
man.
one Ozzy.
Bay Area, did you know that he actually blames a lot of his health ailments and the car accident on talking shit about that haunted doll that you talked about that was from Florida?
Oh, that was Rez talking about that.
You talk, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
I
totally
didn't know that. Yeah, I remember Rez. You brought that up, right?
Yeah.
The doll, the possessed doll.
Wait, does he have that doll or what?
No, he I think his son was talking about it, and he was he basically started clowning on the doll.
Oh shit.
And he thinks that all the stuff started right after that. And he had an interview somewhere saying that he thinks it was the doll that cursed him.
Robert was the doll.
Yeah. Don't say his name.
Yeah,
man.
don't speak that name.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it. Just say, "You're the best, Robert. You're the best, man. We love you."
You the realest, Robert.
Yeah, I won't look at you, but you're the best.
You the MVP.
He actually was
Real
doing a
MVP.
show that I caught some episodes of, I think, a year or so ago. He was traveling with his son, doing all these different places they were visiting, and it was just about him and his son going to these different things and doing these different things. He drove a tank at one point. It was an interesting show, but no, Ozzy is he was a one of a kind, and he was a pioneer and a rock god, and it's probably time for him to hang up the old vocal cords, at least for going on stage and stuff. But yeah, he'll be a legend forever. That's for sure.
He's still recording music. He dropped a track like late last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure
Yeah,
he'll still do. I'm sure he'll still do stuff.
And what's crazy
traveling.
He's capable of making music, but the whole tour aspect is done. Like,
no, touring is hard on a lot of musicians and stuff like that. What was crazy too is about 10 years ago, I didn't even realize this happened until about 3 or 4 years ago, but apparently him and Black Sabbath got back together in 2013 and recorded an album. And I listened to some of the songs on there. I'm like, yeah, this is exactly the same stuff you would have heard back in 1972 when he recorded back then, And then that whole thing where I can't remember exactly what happened, if he broke it off with them or if Black Sabbath said, we're done with you. Because at that point, I'm guessing, that's when you really started going heavy on the drug usage and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if he just walked out of there or if there was mutual differences or not. But then
they were beefing, and he was just like, all right, I can go off and do my own thing.
I had a buddy at work many years ago who was a huge, Ozzy fan and Sabbath fan, and he was from New York, and he worked in the at my job, and I got to be pretty good friends with him, and he would tell me stories. He was a not like an old guy, but slightly older, and he would tell me stories of seeing Sabbath back in the day in New York and concerts, and just he lived the life. Like my buddy lived that life of going to the shows and just constantly seeing every time they came into town, and he would just go on about how much of a blast that was. And I'm like, yeah, man, that must have been special. And he's like, oh, the stories I could tell, but I'm sworn to secrecy.
Oh, for sure. All right, guys. I know this live has been kind of tear jerking so far, with good tears of joy, but I want to kind of move along here and just kind of talk a little bit about sneakers. I just want not Snickers, not the candy bar.
Why? Because I'm fat. That means I'm trying to talk about Snickers bars.
No. I just want to talk about kicks real quick. I know everybody here is not a sneaker fan, but I think people can chime in and put in their 2 cents. But one thing in particular that I wanted to highlight was this article that I found from Complex Magazine. And it's the article is published by a person, Brendan Dunn. Hopefully I'm not butchering his last name. But are you guys familiar with the brand Bape?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, we're gonna talk about this. Oh, this will be fun.
Yeah. Are you guys Nike, global conglomerate, you guys know, pretty much they own the whole 9 yards when it comes to shoes and sneakers and sportswear and stuff like that. But they have apparently sued popular brand, Bape, for pretty much
trademark infringement. Right?
Yeah, trademarking. So this article, I'll read it to you guys. I'll just kind of paraphrase it. But it says, a bathing ape, Bape for short, was founded in Japan in 1993 and emerged in the U.S. 10 years later. Its hoodies and sneakers and possibly colorful pieces that announced new era in streetwear at the turn of the millennium became status symbols in hip-hop. Bape's biggest shoe, the Bape Sta, was popular in part for its garish looks. The most desirable pairs wore uppers of shiny patent leather in shades like candy pink or tropical yellow. I'll show you guys a picture as well as the shoes for those of you wondering. But also for its shape, which conspicuously riffed on the Nike Air Force One. The Bape shoe is a copy of the Nike model one that rips the swoosh off the side and replaces it with a cartoony shooting star. So there is no information on how much the sum was that Nike is suing Bape for, but they are cracking down on people because yeah, they're trying to get their money. So this is just a picture that I pulled off of eBay right here.
Why'd they wait? People had those shoes when I was in freshman in high school in 2005.
Yeah,
Why'd they
yeah.
wait
So
18 years?
exactly. So these shoes, that's what a lot of people are saying, because they're saying, why is Nike waiting? Why did they wait 20 years or so to now just, you know, sue a brand when they've been getting away with it for so many years? That's kind of what I wanted to try and people out. Adam, I see your hand up. But real quick, they are also suing another company named Lululemon for pretty much stealing another one of their supposedly designs, which is similar to like the Flyknit materials that Nike uses. And I don't have a picture of that shoe off the top of my head, but if you guys look it up, you could definitely see it. And yeah, Nike is cracking down on a lot of people that are apparently stealing their ideas and their patent trademarks. But what are your guys' thoughts on this whole thing? Adam, I'll let you go first.
Okay, so just for a bit of clarification, is why they waited so long to sue Bape. From what I understand, is they had a lawsuit against Bape back in like 2005 or something for the very same reason, for trademark infringement.
Hmm.
But they reached a settlement with Bape that they would not primarily market themselves in the United States. They would pretty much just stick to like China and Japan and stuff. And as long as they didn't infringe on the U.S. market, they were like, whatever, we're fine. But within the past couple of years, Bape has started to become a big presence in the United States again. And they were like, okay, well, you're breaking the agreement we initially had, so now we're going to pursue legal action against you again, and there's probably no way they're getting out of it. So get your Bape merchandise now, because that is going to jump up as soon as Bape goes out of this.
Yeah, I remember when I was in high school, all it was like what Soulja Boy, Pharrell, Lil Wayne, they were all wearing like came back a couple years ago.
I mean,
That's
one of my
the first
speaker
Soulja Boy
grails is the college dropouts, the Bape's college dropouts. Those are like some grails of mine.
I remember the ones people had, the see-through ones, and you can see everyone's sweaty socks, which is weird.
Yeah.
I remember those.
I can never get into.
By the way, didn't Bape do a collab with Mitchell and S2 like 3 years ago?
Yeah.
They did.
I actually have a jersey from that collab, which I have not shown yet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I have one, and I do have a couple of Bape pieces. You know, but again, like I don't really like to buy too many hype brands. I mean, I just so happen to like the brand Bape because, you know, I always got into it like back when I was younger with the colorful pieces and stuff like that, but it's just so damn expensive. So, you know, it's just like seeing Nike doing what it's doing. Like, I don't know if you guys know who Warren Lotus is, but, you know, he was an artist that created like these t-shirts of like basketball players, but they're like skulls.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was a huge ad a couple years ago, where, you know, like the whole bootleg style tees were becoming a thing, and this guy Warren Lotus, I don't know if that's his real name or brand, but he designed these shirts and even like the sneakers, and they used like Nike silhouettes, but they kind of added their own twist to it. And you know, he got sued because he was using like a lot of Nike Dunks as like the model of his shoes, but he was putting you know, his own like stamp on it, and it eventually got like, it blew up to the point where he got a cease and desist, and he basically had to stop what he was doing, otherwise he was gonna go, you know, get sued for millions of dollars, I'm sure. And that's kind of what's happening with Bape right now. You know, my thing is like with brands like this, you know, big brands, especially that have a huge following, like, where do you see Nike going? Like, if they're going to continue doing this type of stuff, like, do you think people are going to side with the underdogs in the, you know, in this case, or are they going to just keep it moving, or is it going to affect the market at all, or fashion? Like, how do you guys see this?
I mean, I think Nike will be Nike. Like they're Nike gonna Nike. Like they're gonna just keep doing their thing. I think if anything, one of the reasons why they let it go on for so long is that it just kind of was another way to kind of prop up their exclusivity or desirability. They're like, yo, we're so hot, we got people copying us. You know what I mean? Like that sort of thing. And now, you know, they finally decided, like, for whatever reason, like now's the time to kind of, you know, circle the wagons and get all these people. Like, you know, there's a dude from New Jersey that my roommate told me about, and he makes these shoes that are like a Jordan silhouette, uses a Jordan 1 silhouette, and he uses a lot of like patent leather, and he replaced the swoosh with like a lightning bolt, and they're called the Kais. Yeah, the Kais. And so they sent him a cease and desist too, like within the last couple months.
Really?
Yeah, so they're going after everybody. And a lot of people in the community, like that I've seen, you know, from the Facebook groups and stuff that I'm still a part of, people from those designers, I guess, their areas, like they still support them. Like they say, you know, like keep doing your thing, like, you know, screw big, you know, screw Nike, they're a big company, like we support you, you make the colors and like do the things that we want as fans of yours. And there's some validity to that, but you know, then there's other people that are like, who cares? They're basically bootleg Jordans anyway. Right. So so it's kind of divided. I'd say but the majority probably would rather not get those and would rather get like regular Jordans. You know what I mean? So
sure.
I don't think there's going to be too much of a change, other than, you know, maybe less availability for that sort of stuff.
Yeah, got you.
Hey Rez, I remember back in the day when I was in high school at the San Jose flea market, I had a fake green Bape jacket, the ones that zipped all the way up, and I had a Bape across. I remember I used to wear that all the time.
Oh, tell me.
Truthfully too, like these brands, especially in the case of like a Bape, they've been able to expand their catalog now to where like they can still make clothing and be like a profitable fashion brand, you know. So, and maybe they can come up with some, now that they have the capital and success as a clothing company, they can maybe come up with some of their own, you know, original designs that they can sell if they still want to be in the footwear space. But
I mean, perfect example of that is Mischief.
Yeah,
Mischief got cease and desist from Nike because they did the Lil Nas X Devil shoes.
Oh yeah.
And they're making their own shoes. They have the Gobstoppers that came out. They're doing like the wavy shoes. They're like a take of the Vans. They did their own like sort of kind of Air Force One, but it's different enough to where I think they're gonna be safe. But yeah, so like people, like there is a precedent for like you get the cease and desist from Nike, but you can still make money off of it.
Right.
It's that whole like there's no such thing as bad publicity.
That was just about to say that too. Eddie Preston good.
And the thing is, when your name gets big enough, like Bape has become, it's like they can make even an ugly shoe and it's still gonna sell just because it's Bape, just like all these other companies.
Right.
So like, what's gonna happen though? Like with their Bapes sneak like shoe, are they just gonna stop making?
Realistically, they're gonna stop, or they'll find a way. They'll find a way to make it still be like the Bape still, but it'll be different enough to where it's not infringing on their trademark.
I think all they'd have to do is like change the sole a little bit, you know, because
the Air Force One sole.
Yeah, between that and some of the way the panels are, like in the front on the toe box, like if they switch some of that up a little bit, I think they'd be fine. But
well, it's not just for the Air Force One they're doing it for, because they have other sneakers coming that they put out too that are like I think one was a Dunk, one was Air Jordan, one was a Jordan 1. Like they've been doing a bunch of different infringing on a bunch of the trademarks that Nike has. So I think that's another reason why they're going so hard after it is because it's just not the Air Force One. It's fucking all of their like hype models.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I want to move on to the next segment, and it is a jersey segment. So I think we all can get excited for this one. But yeah, so basically, you guys know, for the NBA, the All-Star season is coming up, or All-Star game, I should say, is coming up, and I could see some of us kind of already like, but of course, you already know in the NBA, with Nike being, the licensor for the, basketball apparel, they have unveiled new jerseys again, and they are All-Star jerseys for the All-Star game that's happening in Utah, I believe, right, this year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how I feel about these jerseys, but I don't want to get like in trouble for sharing the actual images, so I'm just gonna post the link. But if you guys haven't seen the jerseys, you can check it out here in this link. This is directly from NBA.com. So
they're ugly.
He straight up said they're ugly. I will say this, okay, on a positive note, I like these better than last year's All-Star jerseys. In my opinion, I think that given that, some of the styles are meant to kind of replicate like the Utah Jazz jerseys like that they've been wearing recently. I know Utah gets a lot of shit for their jerseys that they've been wearing lately, but just to kind of read the article real quick from the NBA website, it just said, for the 6th consecutive year, Jordan Brand will outfit the league stars for the 2023 NBA All-Star Game held this year in Salt Lake City. The uniforms feature gradient color treatments that represent Utah and its landscapes. So it's from the sky's purple and blue tones in the evening to the red, burnt orange, and yellow hues of the mountains, and golden sunset colors and design pay homage to the landscapes of northern and southern Utah. So there's kind of like a I believe the what is it, the Eastern Conference is the blue color, right, if I'm not mistaken? And then
it's not conferences. I don't think it's teams.
Oh, it's teams. Okay.
Yeah, they're doing the fantasy draft thing, but they're doing it the day of.
So which
doing
one
it the
is
day of the game? Yeah.
So stupid.
Day of?
What the hell?
If you want a player, you got to buy both jerseys.
Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The NBA overall
is gonna be buying both. This idiot.
Shit, man.
Well, no, you don't got to worry about that for LeBron. And wait, who's the other captain?
No, I'm just getting LeBron, and I'll return the other one that he doesn't wear, man.
Well, isn't his already determined because he's a captain?
I don't.
Well, maybe.
I'm not. I haven't really.
Like he's a captain, so he definitely has one. And who's the other captain? I don't know. Remember?
Giannis, maybe.
Giannis. Yeah, him and Giannis should already have their jerseys predetermined, and then everybody else you can buy both jerseys for, Mac.
No, I just want LeBron.
So then,
I don't even really want LeBron, but I'm compelled to get LeBron.
Well, the completionist in you says you have to, so you must listen to him.
Correct.
So then, are these jerseys? Are they going to be like delayed when they manufacture? Because we're not going to know who's going to be wearing what, right? Like
not until the day of.
So obviously, Nike's not going to have that. I mean, unless they've already like pre-made some.
So this is not unusual. They for the LA game, in like 2017, and maybe the Charlotte game too in 2018, they actually released both colors for sale in authentic. So I actually have a LeBron white and black, but he only played in one of the colors, and I have the other one just as like a goofball jersey. So this isn't like totally unprecedented. I don't know if they're going to do it like that or how they're going to do it, but.
Well, the thing is, we've seen lately these jersey companies don't really care about what a player's actually worn or authenticity at this point. So they're just gonna release both, and people will buy them because people don't really care beside us.
Yep.
Yeah.
The one kind of looks like the, like it was designed off of that City Edition one they were wearing.
Oh,
right?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a
So
Mhm.
I
direct
guess
rip
that
from
one
that
would be.
template.
That
I guess that one would be like, I mean, somewhat doable, but I don't know. I'm not a huge All-Star jersey buyer, so I mean, these are probably just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go after other stuff instead. But it is
By the
what
way,
it
have
is.
you guys seen the NHL All-Star jerseys?
Those are dope.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
NHL
are
does
nice.
it right.
those are
I'm
fun.
in the minority. I didn't like those because I feel like they're going after the Miami Vice theme that the Heat have done. It just kind of seemed like, I don't know.
Well, to be fair, though, that's where the All-Star game is held, is in Sunrise. So, where the
Is
Florida
it there or is it in Jacksonville?
It's in
Uh,
the where the Panthers play.
yeah.
Mm.
Is that close to Miami?
It's close enough. It's I mean,
Sunrise, isn't it?
yeah,
Seems like a stretch.
but it's
Sunrise sounds more like a retirement community than Miami Beach, South Beach.
Well, to be fair, I don't know exactly where the Panthers technically play. I think it's Sunrise, if I remember hearing it right. But
yeah. I think it's kind of close to Orlando, maybe. I think it's more closer to Orlando certainly than Miami, but I mean, they
It's
went
on-
with something. They went with something different. So
Yeah,
they
it's a
went.
city
I mean, they
called
don't
Sunrise.
look bad. They look
Yeah.
good. I'll give it that.
I'm not jumping to grab one. I mean,
Which one's better though, the Eastern or Western? Do you guys think?
for
the
me,
NHL?
Western.
yeah.
So real quick, Sunrise. I'm looking on the map. Is pretty close to Miami.
Well,
It's
there
on
you go.
Yeah.
Aha.
It's like how all of Massachusetts is Boston, all of Florida is Miami.
Right.
I don't. Yeah, like I'm kind of the same way with the All-Star jerseys, but again, like last season or last year, I bought the Steph Curry one. But I mentioned it because I did a video on that, and I mentioned I only bought the jersey because of the accomplishments Steph did wearing that jersey. But as far as like the jersey itself, I was like, I don't like this thing at all, and it looks like I just came from a spaceship or something. And I mean, I will
It's
say this
historically significant, though.
it was a very it's a very detailed jersey. Don't get me wrong. Like I was actually very surprised with the construction of it because it's got this really interesting. I can't explain it. Maybe one of you guys can explain it if you guys own one. But it's the Swingman version does not compare to the authentic. I will say this: it blows it out the water by miles, in my opinion. And this year's NBA, even the NHL All-Star jerseys, I don't know. I just hope Steph doesn't have he breaks another record. I'm like, damn it.
He hit
He
33s in the first half.
I don't know. It's gonna be one of those things where I'm
Steph
just,
gets
He's
120
gonna get
points.
one.
Damn
Come
it,
on.
Brett.
We all know. We all know he's getting one. Come on.
So you guys know my whole story about All-Star jerseys and the NBA and my LeBron collection, right?
Yep.
How I have every All-Star game jersey he's ever worn inauthentic except one jersey.
Which one?
1 year. It was the COVID year where they had the game scheduled to be in Indiana, but it got moved to Atlanta.
That's right.
And they did not make authentic retail versions of that jersey. But tonight, just 15 minutes before Rez went live,
oh snap!
Oh, wow.
I obtained the missing jersey. And this jersey, not the greatest looking jersey, like we were saying, but
It's
I
not
had to get it.
terrible if it stayed in Indiana.
Yeah.
It does have kind of a cool, Reggie Miller rookie Pacers theme thing going on a little bit. But, yeah, so
Off.
We'll
racing
see.
streak.
The streak is alive for another year.
Is that a blank or is that like actual?
Yeah, it's a blank.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a blank. So the seller is in Portland. So as good as I could tell, they probably Portland, Oregon. They probably got samples from Nike, and they were selling them. You know, they had some other Nike stuff that they were selling on their account. So I'm guessing somehow they managed to find their way into somebody's hands, and they decided to sell them on eBay. So they had that and the blue one up, and actually some practice jerseys from the game too.
Wow.
So
cool.
If you're looking for one of those, they may have more. So check it out on eBay.
That's all you, bud.
Are you gonna do that?
I got the one I needed.
Are you gonna do the numbering yourself, or?
Yeah. There's nothing too crazy special about it. Maybe I might send it into EPS. I'll have to check. I have pictures of the gamers, so I'll have to see if it had the perforations. If it does, then maybe I'll send it to EPS to have it done. But if not, I'll just do it myself.
Gotcha. All right, guys. I want to move on to the big topic of tonight, which we kind of got a hint of it earlier in this live.
Oh man, here we go.
We had some trash.
Oh God!
Can we mute Neil?
Oh
no.
Before we get into that, though, okay, I just want to kind of get you guys hyped up. I want to move real quick. I want to talk to Adam because I know he's a wrestling fan like myself.
Yep.
I just want to talk real quick about the Royal Rumble that just ended.
I watched it too, guys.
Oh, all right. So Mac, you could maybe chime in on this.
Wait, did you actually watch it yet? Because last time we talked, you said that you hadn't actually watched it. You just saw the highlights.
I did. I did watch it.
I legit watched it. I even watched the Pitch Black post conference. Adam.
Yeah.
So the one match I didn't watch was the Pitch Black match, actually, because I don't like Bray Wyatt.
Blasphemy!
Really? You don't like Bray?
He's stuck.
Blasphemy!
I don't like him.
Uncle Howdy, the Fiend. Really?
I don't like that.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you hear what he said recently?
Nah. What did he say?
He did. They were interviewing him, and they were like, "Oh, so like, do you plan on bringing back any previous characters?" And the Fiend, he said, like, you know, I've moved past that or whatever. And he says, like, I would want to bring back the cult leader one, but it feels disrespectful to Brody Lee, Luke Harper. So that's the reason why we'll never see the cult leader again. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, because I remember like.
Thank you, Albie.
The Wyatt family was crazy. I felt like that had so much potential to be like greater than it was.
Vince fucked him up. That's what Vince does. Vince fucks things up.
It's annoying. It's frustrating.
He's like that scene from Tommy Boy when he's talking about his pet. He's like, I get my pretty little pet. You're so cute. I ruin it.
But I'm just gonna go over, you know, the main events for obviously the men's Royal Rumble and the women's 30, or was it 29 Royal Rumble, right? 29 contestant, or was it 30?
30.
Okay.
Well, the men's was technically 29.
Okay, yeah. So
didn't come out.
Yeah, so I mean, to start things off with the women's one, first off, props to WWE for like really kind of shining light on the whole women's like division of wrestling, because back in the day, you know, you didn't really have that. You know, it
was all about TNA back in the day. That was all it was.
TNA. You know,
not the company.
Like, they had a lot of different types of like eras of wrestling. You know, obviously you have the 80s, which was really, you know, the Hogan, the Macho Man's, the Ultimate Warriors, and then you have the Attitude Era, which I don't even really need to explain. You know, but then of course the Ruthless Aggression Era, and then
wait. If you're gonna say it, you're gonna say it right. Ruthless Aggression.
Bah! All right. so yeah, like it just, you know, like it's pro wrestling has come a long way, not just for WWE but for all promoting companies. But like I always say this, like I don't watch wrestling as much as I used to. But whenever the Royal Rumble comes around, that's my favorite pay-per-view.
Yes.
Next to Mania.
I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one.
I agree with that.
That's when I really start to get invested in, like, all right, what's going on? Who's coming back? What's,
Yeah.
and we saw a lot of like things that happened. It wasn't the greatest Royal Rumble, but it wasn't the worst from what I've seen.
Well,
But
the Great Royal Rumble was in 2018. Braun Strowman won that one.
really,
There was a pay-per-view that they had in Saudi Arabia, literally called the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Oh
the great. I don't think I've seen that one, but
Don't. It's not worth it.
yeah.
Yeah. So Rhea Ripley won the Women's Royal Rumble, and she's challenging Charlotte Flair for the women's title.
Ooh.
That's gonna be actually pretty good, I think. I think
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of her, but I will say as a female wrestler and her promo skills and just like her overall like physique, she's built to play that role because it seems like she's the heel and Charlotte is the face in this whole battle here. But like, what do you
That's
guys?
not how it's gonna play out though, because people fucking love Rhea Ripley.
Oh, for sure.
They love Rhea Ripley. She can play the heel all she wants. No one will boo Rhea Ripley
Against Charlotte, you think?
against anybody, frankly. Even maybe except for maybe like Becky Lynch.
She's pretty over.
Mm.
But yeah, no, everybody loves Rhea Ripley. She's probably like her and Seth Rollins are the most over people in that company.
Dude, Seth Rollins. Yes.
I don't know what's up, but I don't know how you guys feel
What
about
about the Bray Wyatt hate? What the fuck?
I don't.
He's like 10 times better wrestler than Bray Wyatt is.
Who?
Seth Rollins.
No,
Oh,
I agree, but like we got people
Oh.
trashing Bray Wyatt, and I don't get it. I love Bray
I
Wyatt.
I just don't think he's lame. I don't think he's a
That's
good
how-
wrestler either.
So my thing is though, like I think it's good storytelling that WWE is doing with the Judgment Day, and then even I don't know about Dominic as an actor. I don't know how serious I could take him.
Dominic is the best heel in WWE right now.
He's pretty good,
freaking
actually.
Bad.
way, dude. No way.
What is the
He's
point
not
of a bad guy
bad.
wrestling?
That
To
is-
get you to hate them? And what does Dominic do? We had this discussion about MJF. What is a bad guy's job in wrestling? To get you to hate them. And
No,
what is
but this
Dominic
a
doing?
different kind of
To
hate,
get
though.
you to hate him. That's his job. He's doing
Dude,
it.
it took him so long to like tear up his mask, bro. It like took
Yeah,
him
that was
a whole
embarrassing.
walk. He's like,
I just like
He
the
look
whole
at him,
like.
man. He's like he weighs as much as one of my legs.
I know.
I just can't take that. Like, it's so cringy. It's so, but it's like I'm.
What
I'm
do you mean?
glued
He's
to my
been to
TV.
jail, bro. He's seen shit.
All right. Real quick, because I know that Bay Area Jake and Mighty are getting sleepy here, but
Good game, Jake. Good game, Jake.
the whole thing with the men's Royal Rumble, and then obviously with Sami Zayn and the
I was
Bloodline.
gonna say, can we save that for last because that's the best storytelling.
Right. So real quick, the men's Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes won. A lot of people, I read a lot of comments, and a lot of people feel some type of way about it because Cody Rhodes was literally the last person
Yeah.
to enter the Rumble, and he won. So for those of you who don't know what the Royal Rumble entails, you have basically 30 superstars. You have one person come out, and then there's two wrestlers that come out. They duke it out, and then I think it's after a minute. There's
90 seconds.
90
Yeah.
seconds. There's a countdown, and then once the countdown is done, another wrestler comes out, and basically the whole purpose to winning this match is throwing your opponent off the top rope. So if you throw them under, you throw them in the middle rope, it doesn't count. You have to throw them over the top rope, and they have to land on both of their feet to be considered eliminated. So it's very enjoyable. I think it's a lot of different things, but yeah, Cody Rhodes coming out at number 30, winning the Rumble. Well,
One
what's up?
second. Rey Mysterio never entered, and if you watch at the very end of the Rumble, Cody jumps over the top rope. So I think technically Rey Mysterio won the 2023 Royal Rumble.
Ooh, I like that.
This is a conspiracy.
I like that.
Wow.
I mean, I'm happy as shit that Cody won, though. He needed to win. He was the right person to win. Like Cody's like right underneath Seth Rollins as far as like being the most popular guy wrestler in the company. So like that was the right move to make. I don't know why
Did we-
people are crap on it, because everyone was happy when Cody came back to WWE, and now just wrestling fans are gonna wrestle fan and just bitch about anything,
That's what I feel like.
whether or
with
not they
wrestling.
want it or not.
I feel like you can never make them happy.
Can
but-
we
No.
just talk for 1 second about the Ricochet Logan Paul spot?
Yes.
Bruh.
Because when it happened, I scared my cat. He ran into the other room. Like, I was like, holy shit! Like,
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm at work
good.
watching the Royal Rumble. When that happened, I literally went, "Holy shit!" I had like 2 customers that were coming up to line, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm so
Crazy.
sorry." I'm watching wrestling. Something really crazy just happened.
Yeah.
Logan
No. That.
Paul, man, like,
Bro,
that's
he's
the
a
first
piece of
time
shit human
I've
being,
seen
but
him.
goddamn, he can wrestle.
I think
Woo!
he found his calling. You know, I'm not I am not a Logan Paul fan by any means, but I will say that he has really, in the short time he's been in WWE, he's already done a lot of things that a lot of people haven't done their first match. I mean, he's like, he freaking like recorded himself when he was like gonna body slam Roman Reigns. And on top of that, that move that him and Ricochet did, like jumping from the opposite side of the ring, clashing with each other, was just like,
Bro, that smack that he did when they hit each other, god damn, that was loud as shit.
It was. And
It was awesome.
that was good. I would say that that's props to him for doing that. And
Yeah.
But I don't want to see him go like win and get all the success right away. I feel like, dude, you got to like pay your dues, bro. Like that was great.
Technically, I don't think he's won a match yet. Oh no, he did. He won his debut
Against what was the Miz, right?
No, he was teaming with the Miz. I think they might have lost. I don't remember.
They did lose, and then that's
but
when
I know that the Miz like jumped him afterwards, or he jumped the Miz or something afterwards.
Right. Okay, one last segment on this, and then we'll move on to the sports one. But okay, the whole thing with Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn, or the Bloodline and Sami Zayn betraying Roman, like,
ooh.
I did not see that coming. I honestly did not.
What?
I didn't.
Come on, Rez.
Okay.
I'm rusty. I know. I knew that something was gonna happen. I thought it was gonna be like, this is what I was envisioning, right? Like, okay, Roman's like pushing Sami, like, yo, you gotta do it, and I feel like Jey Uso was gonna steal the chair from Sami and hit Roman himself.
Yeah,
I would have been like, what the fuck just happened? Like, I would have lost my shit if that happened. But I mean, I was pretty shocked when I saw Sami like attack Roman from behind. But what are your guys' thoughts?
If you have a person who's marginally interested in wrestling, like, oh, I kind of want to watch wrestling, have them watch the past. It sounds like a lot, but it's worth it. The past 3 years of anything involving Roman Reigns, like the whole thing with Jay when he fought Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship the first time, the Hell in a Cell I Quit match, and Hell in a Cell 2021. Just watch anything that has involved Roman Reigns from a storytelling point for the past 3 years. It is literally the best storytelling we've had in wrestling in at least 20 years. Like, bar none, it is the best storytelling ever. Well, not ever, but at least since the Attitude Era. Like, it is pitch perfect. There's no flaws to be found with this storytelling. Sami Zayn being involved, the whole Jey Uso thing. I think Jey Uso is going to end up fucking over Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yep.
How Cody's going to get his win. Like, it's perfect. You cannot find like if you go on TikTok, they have the meme thing where it's like the guy from, I think, The Boys. He says it was perfect down to the last minute detail. That meme was made for this story. It is literally the best thing to happen to WWE story-wise in 20 years. Fight me on it.
It's kind of hard to argue that, because I will say that this whole storyline and arc has really caught me glued to watching and coming back to WWE, because usually like I'll flip through channels, but when I hear the whole Roman Reigns and Bloodline thing, I'm like watching and I'm like, yo, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next? It almost makes me feel like back in the day when I was like glued.
Exactly. It's like you're a kid again. You can't wait to watch the next episode to see what the fuck is gonna happen.
But it's only for that segment though, and a couple of other
Yeah.
segments.
I mean, hey, you
And
know
you're
what?
like,
It's better than what they've been doing. Better than what they've been doing. You're interested.
Leo. What up,
What's
Leo?
up, King Leo?
King Leo.
But it keeps you. I've been watching wrestling, but I haven't been like actively like enjoying it for a long time. This has me actively enjoying wrestling. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I have an idea of how it's going to play out or how I want it to play out, but I am beyond excited to see how this goes.
Yes.
Like, and I haven't been able to say that in a long, long time.
Me too. I'm really looking forward to it. So, all right. Now that we've kind of fanboyed about pro wrestling here, I want to take.
You got to watch AEW, by the way. We got to get you up on that.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
One step at a time.
Yeah. So moving to the main topic that I wanted to discuss tonight, man, is
See you guys later. Have a good night.
is the whole situation in the NFL right now, where we've now reached the Super Bowl.
That is a great word, situation. This is a situation.
So obviously there was some talking on my last live about, you know, the NFC specifically, who was going to come out that battle. And I was saying like, oh, it's going to be a movie. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. And then we have this underwhelming performance from the 49ers, you know, get stomped out by, you know, the Philadelphia Eagles, which Mighty fan here, I'm sure can attest for this. But, you know, yeah, I think just if I could add my hot take on this, you know, I think given the circumstances with the Niners, it's just really sad to see us lose this way. I honestly predicted that the Eagles were going to win this game, but not like that. Because the moment that game started, I think it was like the first snap, right? Or second snap. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong. Fred Warner, our linebacker, was like on the ground, not getting up. And I'm like, what is going on? He goes in the tent. He's all right. Shortly after that, Brock Purdy, our third string quarterback, suffered a freaking torn UCL and is expected to miss a minimum of 6 months because of that injury that he suffered during, I guess, what was like a snap or whatever. Like, I don't know what the hell happened, but
He got hit by Reddick?
Yeah,
Wasn't it soon?
it was, I don't know, but it didn't even look that serious. Like, I was like, what the heck happened?
But it was.
Yeah. It was. Nick Bosa got hurt apparently on the sidelines. Like, he got like
special teams play.
He wasn't even in the
he just got hurt with people running by him.
Sounds
and like I don't like it. This whole game was just a recipe, like a disaster, because we ran, you know, Brock Purdy could not come back until the second half of the game. There were talks about Christian McCaffrey being quarterback, and he's our starting running back. You know, it was just overall a disaster of a game, and it did not meet the expectations that a lot of us thought it would have been. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say except, you know, the Eagles, you know, again, Mahomes is going to have a run for his money, because I know they're not 100%, but I hate to say this, but I'm going with the Chiefs. I have to go for the Chiefs on this. Despite us losing to them in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, like I just can't accept it. I'm sorry, Mighty.
I get it, and I appreciate it. I mean, that's part of the reason why I went against the Patriots those years after they beat us. It was like, you know, you don't want to see a, you know, team have success after we lose to them. I get it. It's that's a fan mentality, and that's perfectly understandable. I didn't expect 31-7 before the game started. I had a good feeling the Eagles could win the game because they've just been playing at this level all year. And every time there's a challenge put in front of them, they take it on head on. There's a lot of pride on this team. There's some players, not a lot, left from the 17-18 team, but there's still a few leaders left from that team that knows what it takes to win. and to win these big games. And they're just playing on a level that I haven't seen this team play at in quite some time. Hassan Reddick is a game wrecker. And I said last week that I couldn't believe that he wasn't a top 3 finisher for Defensive Player of the Year, and I think he showed in that game why. Listen, he took it as a challenge. I mean, Bosa's on the other side on the Niners, probably going to be the Defensive Player of the Year winner. And Reddick said, okay, all right, let me show you what I can do. And I look, I mean, you're not there trying to hurt someone, but he was there doing what he's done all year. He's probably one of the best strip sackers I've ever seen. The way he just gets the ball out when he comes after the quarterback. I mean, he's got claws. And the fact that, the Eagles this season set a team record for sacks, and they have 4 guys with double-digit sacks. I think Reddick is a big part of that because he opens things up for so many. It's a tough team. It's a tough team to beat. I give a ton of respect and credit to the Niners in the season they had. I do think it was a shame that Purdy got hurt. I don't think it would have mattered as far as the Eagles winning or losing. I think the game may have been closer if he was in there, but I think at the end of the day, the Eagles were just a better team all around. And I think at the end of the day, they were going to get that win, and the fact they were playing at home, I think just put them over the top for that one. You're playing a great team in the Chiefs. We have knowledge of their coaching staff. A lot of them were here many years ago. There's so many great storylines in this game about it's really someone said it on Sports Talk Radio, and it's true. This is a celebration of the Eagles this Super Bowl. You have Andy Reid and that coaching tree who was here, had success here. Now in Kansas City, you have the Kelsey brothers, the Chiefs' young running backs, a local guy. I mean, there's so many stories that kind of intertwine the two teams in a way that's very rare for an NFC and AFC team to do. There's not a lot of history between the two. The Eagles have never played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and vice versa. This is a first. We are going up against a great player. We're going up against Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to be the league MVP. But again, it's that challenge that's put in this team's mind, right? Okay, going against the Defensive Player of the Year. We have something to prove. Okay, going against the league MVP. Jalen Hurts may have had a chance at that if he didn't get hurt for those couple games. He's got something to prove. And I think, again, and I don't want to sound too fanboyish, but whenever you put a challenge in front of this team, they've answered the bell. And yet again in the Super Bowl, and I know they're a slight favorite right now, which is different than in Super Bowl 52. But the fact that, there's going to be people doubting, the Chiefs 3 out of 4 years, all this and that, I think this team's going to answer the bell. I think it's going to be a really good game. I like how this team's playing right now. And it's hard, not just as an Eagles fan, but someone who's watched the sport for many years and sees how these teams that are dominant just win. And it doesn't matter what's in front of them. They just find a way and do it. The Eagles are on that similar plane right now, and they have a very good chance to get our second Super Bowl champion. And I do remind Super Bowl champion because the Eagles do have 3 non-Super Bowl championships in their history. So a chance to get there. Yeah, I know you laugh, but they count. The only team that ever beat Vince Lombardi's.
Was it a coffee cup?
But that's a little thing. But okay, so no, a chance to get their 5th championship in franchise history, and a chance to win their 2nd Super Bowl in franchise history, and it's a pretty special thing. I think we're in a special place right now, as far as Philadelphia sports fans. We've been we've been through a lot, but I think these teams are starting to find themselves. I think this is bad news for other people, but
why the fuck do you have to be all diplomatic, Neil? Why can't you just let me be mad at you?
Yeah.
But I did watch the game. I watched the game here. I watched just about every game here. Slim was over this week, and then I told him, I said, Slim, look, we're going into this game. We're 1-0 watching NFC title games together. I need you here. So he made the trip. We watched the game, and now we're 2-0. And he's coming back over for the Super Bowl. So
that's cool.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Bay Area, I gotta hear your thoughts on this, man, because you as a fellow Niner fan, you gotta say, man, that was shit was hard to watch.
So, first off, after the Cowboys game, I can't lie, I was not feeling very confident about going up against those Eagles because that was not a great showing by the Niners against the Cowboys. So that alone did not make me very confident. And then I actually missed the first quarter of this last game. I had some stuff going on, so when I got to where I was watching it at, and I see Josh Johnson in, that wasn't very promising in itself. I was like, then I saw Purdy on the sideline. I'm like, okay, so is he gonna come back in? Then when I realized, when I just saw him throwing on the sideline, he looked like it. He was like shot putting a football like that. Doesn't look good at all. And then, I mean, the thing is, even when we were doing our usual plays where Debo and McCaffrey break out, I don't know what the dude's name was on the Eagles, but he stopped them like every single time. Our usual plays didn't work, even with, so I don't know. It was one of those. It didn't even feel like a real game. Like my brother said, like when we left, we're like, okay, like was that a fake game and the real one's about to start? Because that just didn't even seem real. Yeah, it was just ugly. I mean, I'd rather have lost with like Purdy actually playing and getting to see a decent game. Like it was. I never leave a game early when it's like that, but by the time there was 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, I told my brother, like, yo, I'm down to just leave. Like, I don't even care at this point. This game is trash. Luckily, I stayed long enough to see Trent Williams body slam that one dude, but that was the best part. That and the one McCaffrey run, that was really the best part of the game for me. But, yeah, it was really weird. And I don't know. It was an ugly game. But, I don't know. There's not much to say. Once Purdy went out, it's like you have your fourth string in, and it's Josh Johnson. I mean, once he fumbled that snap, that already let me know, like, yeah, this isn't going to end well because without that, you have a chance to at least get a field goal. You might go into halftime 14-10. You got the second half starting with the Niners having the ball. You at least have a chance. But once he dropped the ball and gave them 7 points right there, it was like, yeah, that's not.
And they were all. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like all the touchdowns from Philly were all running touchdowns, right? There was
Yeah.
So that just goes to show that we were fucking discombobulated, man. That was the Niners that we saw for the last.
Yeah, and the other thing besides just of course, once you lose your quarterback in football, it's like I think almost more than any sport, that's the biggest Achilles heel you could have is when your quarterback goes down. But if you look at, and people can say like the calls or whatever, but when you look at how many just stupid penalties the 49ers had on defense, that like you can't afford to have that happen when you're already out of a quarterback and you have Josh Johnson playing for you. Like you can't just play that sloppy, and it was ugly overall. So
and what's really sad about it too is Josh Johnson. I think he had like 3 snaps and he was ruled out.
Oh yeah, he was out.
He got a concussion.
Yeah. So I mean, it was like.
They were going to have McCaffrey come in.
Quarterback. I would have been so happy.
They were going to have McCaffrey come in.
They didn't activate Jimmy G for fear of what it would do to Purdy, and I think that was a calculated risk. I understand that. I understand that. Listen, I mean, Jimmy G got hurt. Purdy came in and he was winning every game, but at this point of the, injuries are a possibility, and you do want to have every player that you could have available if they're physically able to go. I think that was a very big oversight by the 49ers brass in doing that. The other thing that surprised me about the game, there was a couple things. A, how undisciplined the Niners became, particularly in the second half. And I know at that point the Eagles started to run away with it. But my goodness, I mean, people want to talk about the refs, but those were all warranted calls. Those
one
were warranted.
Yeah, they were.
The other way, I'd say the same thing. The other thing that surprised me is that, and I think it's kind of interesting that this is now the second time in 5 years the Eagles go to a Super Bowl with a second-year head coach and a quarterback. Now, I know Wentz didn't finish that year, but a quarterback, and I know Hurts played sparingly as gimmicky plays his rookie year. Second-year quarterback going to the Super Bowl for one franchise, and that's very difficult to do. And it does have a testament to the front office and the powers that be and Mr. Lurie for putting this team back together after it looked like it had really fallen off the cliff just a few years ago. The other thing I was very surprised with is just how much Nick Sirianni outcoached Shanahan. And it wasn't, and I understand there was the injuries, but I mean, just the way the Niners were playing compared to how the Eagles were doing their thing, it was night and day. And again, going into the game, I felt confident. I felt we could win. But as the game is playing out, I'm sitting on the recliner and Slim's sitting right here, and we're looking at each other like, man, we didn't expect this. We're happy. But at the same time, it was like, boy, this is an experienced Niners team, and they are just coming apart at the seams in this game. And look, maybe the Eagles have that type of team that they can do that to others. If you want to try to bully them, they're going to bully back. And if we bully back, that's going to be a long day because they have the horses to do it. But it was both gratifying to me and shocking to me of how that game kind of played out. And it was not expected. Believe me, I thought it was going to be a close game, and as a Philly fan, I'm usually a pessimistic, that, oh my goodness, something's going to go wrong. When's this going to go wrong? When's that going to go wrong? But, both playoff games have been kind of put the feet up at this, in the second half type of games. And that tells me the Super Bowl is going to be some tight game. Of course, the Eagles are known for playing some pretty interesting Super Bowls. So, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But, guys, honestly, the Niners are a great franchise, and I think we're going to be seeing them again, in the years to come, and we're going to see how this plays out with the quarterback situation on San Fran. Of course, the Eagles are going to have to pony up some money for Mr. Hurts at some point pretty soon, so we're going to see how all that goes. But if there's one guy that can navigate the cap, it's Howie. Howie season.
Yeah, well, admit the NFL has definitely been changing a lot recently. Now, it seems like a lot of like the younger teams and like the more well-rounded teams are, rising their way to the top, as opposed to like even when the Eagles first made their first Super Bowl run, like just basically on the back of Nick Foles. Now, it's just
that
like
season was out of nowhere. No, we did not expect that before the season started, and it just happened. And it was like, oh my, this was but that's how we knew we were going to win, just with everything that was going wrong. I mean, that was the Rocky story, going there and going up against the great champion and winning that game the way they did. It was just so crazy, and but all the stars were aligning that. It just felt like it, and it's hard to explain. It's like all these weird kind of things started happening. I won a raffle at Modell. I never win anything, and I won that, and that was like one of the biggest signs that, oh my god, this could actually happen. This could happen.
So
this year it felt different. Now, I didn't go into the season thinking Super Bowl, but it's felt different. It's like you see the talent there. It's like, okay, now we're starting to roll. Okay, I see this. But it and I told Slim and I were like, look, we were talking about it. We're like, this has a different feel to it. And I told him, I said, Slim, you know why it feels different? Because we experienced a win. When going into that Super Bowl 52, all we wanted to do was win and get off win the first one, get that Lombardi, finally win that damn thing, right? Now that we've experienced it, we've experienced that end of it. So now we know what it feels like. So now going into this one, it feels a little different. It's like, I'm not saying it's expected, but it's almost like you don't go into it with as much trepidation and just, all that comes with just wanting to win your first so bad, right? So now it's like, okay, well, hey, we have this one on the shelf. Now we want more. We want seconds. Okay, and thirds and fourths and fifths would be nice too. But we want more. We're not going to be satisfied with the one. But getting it and winning it and seeing it and just how that whole thing happened back in 2017, it's hard to top. And I'll be as happy as anyone if we win it, and yeah, I'll celebrate it. But it's not gonna be exactly on that same level as 52, just because it's not the first one. And so that's why I said, yeah, this run is great, but because we experienced that, that's why this feels just a little different than it did 5 years ago.
Well, we'll talk about this post Super Bowl because
sure.
I want to see. I think it's going to be a close game. Honestly, somehow Mahomes had a miracle, miraculously healed, and he's like
He's
supposedly
not completely healed. He's
I,
hobbling around.
I mean,
Mahomes at like 80% is still better than like everybody else.
I will say though, with the Chiefs, they've got one hell of a squad, man,
Yes,
because they just seem
Oh,
to
yeah.
year after year make it back, and with Mahomes, he's just I mean, like King Leo said, I don't know if I would put him on that level of like the Jordan of of the NFL, but he's definitely gonna go down, I think, as one of the greats when his career is all said and done. You know what I mean? And I think it's gonna be a good game. And there's a lot of storytelling for both teams, obviously with the Kelsey brothers, and then with Reed and just the history that he has with Philly and stuff. Like, there's gonna be a lot of things happening in this Super Bowl. And like I said, like I don't know your guys. I mean, Mighty, I know you're obviously rooting for the Eagles, but like, I don't know how the rest of you guys feel.
I'm going for the Eagles. I just don't like the Chiefs really, so I'm going.
Really.
I don't. But the thing is, I don't. At the end of the day, I don't really care either way. If the Chiefs win, cool for them. But I'd actually prefer to see the Eagles win.
For me, I'd prefer the Chiefs, and it has nothing really to do with, the rivalry, I guess, going on with, the Eagles and Vikings and all that stuff or whatever. But mainly because I actually have family that's down in the Kansas City area. But I still don't know, just because of the whole freaking AFC Championship game, which, by the way, that was just that might have been some of the shadiest officiating I've ever seen.
That was tough.
Yeah. Do you think though, for that AFC game, do you think that if the unnecessary roughness, that push, if they didn't advance those, what was it, 15 yards, do you think that they would have lost? Or do you think that would have changed the game at all, or no?
I think we could have had overtime.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Would have been overtime at least.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah, we still haven't had
it that way.
Yeah, because we still haven't had the new overtime rules yet in the playoffs.
It hasn't happened.
Yeah, we didn't have.
Because, like, for the most part, other than like one or two games, really, the playoffs have been kind of predictable. Really.
There you go, Adam. You got to wear that next Sunday. I know we'll definitely win then.
I'll be rocking my Derek Thomas on Super Bowl Sunday.
I'll be wearing a Niners jersey on Sunday.
Probably wearing a Vikings jersey. I usually try to wear neutral teams when my teams aren't playing. Like, let's say if, like, case in point, if there's like a football game or something on, let's say it's like the Broncos and the Raiders or something like that, and I'll be wearing like a Christian McCaffrey Panthers jersey or something. That's always how I am. If it's not my teams or anything like that, I wear a neutral.
Most years for the Super Bowl, even if the Eagles aren't in and I'm wearing something Eagles, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Just because it's football, and okay, well, they're not in, but I'm still gonna, rep and wear them and just sit on my recliner and watch the game. Not being as nerve-wracked watching that game because my team's not in it. Oh my goodness! But it's still a spectacle. And I did think, like, a couple months ago when I heard Rihanna was going to be the halftime. My boss hates that Umbrella song, and I like it. That's a song on my playlist, right? And when I heard Rihanna's doing the halftime, I'm like, oh, we have to be in this one. Just he has to watch her do the Umbrella song at halftime, and that we have to get in it now.
By the way, like, real quick, kind of like going off of the past topic, apparently isn't she also now doing a collab with like Mitchell and S or something like that?
I just saw that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised. Leave it to Mitchell and S to follow trends and just like,
oh my god,
do a bunch of like.
Yeah, they become less of like an actual like sports like throwback and stuff like that, and more just essentially another fashion wear.
There's only one that I wouldn't mind buying, and that's the New York Knicks for the Wu-Tang. That's the only.
I like I love that one, but also I like the J. Cole ones. They were pretty dope.
I have one of them, and I think
you got
cool. They're not. I mean, because like the thing is, like when it comes to collab jerseys, like I feel like if you're gonna do it, change like just be subtle with it. Don't completely change the entire thing. Because then I feel like it becomes too much. You know what I mean? Like
Hey,
that
Red,
was what was
with that
cool
J.
about
Cole
that.
one, does that feel like an authentic or does it feel like a swingman?
no, it's an authentic. Like
Oh,
they all the qualities of those because he did one for I don't know for if he did for every team, but he did one for
I know he did one for Boston. I know he did one for Phoenix.
All the tour dates, I think.
Yeah, like they were like authentic quality.
Oh shit! I gotta look into get one of those. I want that Boston one in the worst way.
That's the problem. They have them on the site, but they're listed as exclusive, so they never go on sale. So I had to fork up the cash to get. Well,
yeah, honestly, that's one of those ones that I might have to pay retail for.
Well, because if you're lucky, you can do like one of those create an email and use that email, and you could get like I think 15. Like 15% off, which is a pretty huge chunk off of like 325 or whatever the price mark is. But
or I can just do a pay in 4 and have 14 of them going like Neil.
You're paying for it. I just used one to get the Super Bowl 57 jersey. So another paying for.
What is this? 15, 17,
25? Those paying for, I'm telling you.
Graham will be coming in, and I'll wear that one next Sunday. But no, the paying fours are the way to go. I'm disappointed when there's no paying for. I am.
I feel that because I'll go on websites now and I'll be like, "Can I do paying for?" And if I can't, like a lot of the hat websites, they don't do paying for.
Screw you guys!
Like, well,
I don't want your hats anyway.
You can on Hat Club. You can do the paying for on Hat Club, which is good.
Man, I thought about doing that. Well, actually, I have used it. I have currently 3 open right now, but I'm they'll be paid off by next Friday for sure. They'll be paid off, but
it is tempting. But I luckily have not done any paying for it. I'm telling you,
it's not bad. I mean, it's not. As
it's
long
a
as you
get fuck.
Yeah, because like it does. Okay, like it doesn't. It's like a soft credit check. Okay, so your credit is not gonna get fucked unless you like don't pay it, which is impossible because when you use it, it's designed to automatically deduct from your account. Whatever payment method you use, and then also it's interest free, so you're not racking up any interest. You're just spacing out your payments. On top of that, you will get your item, assuming it's not like a pre-order or made to order type of deal. You'll get it like while you're still paying it. The problem with it though is that you need to like space it out because you don't want to end up. You could use that for so many things at once.
I don't know why you're all looking at me.
Your paycheck comes in and half of it goes to paying for. You're like, whoa.
No, Neil's entire paycheck is to fucking pay. How Neil managed to keep a roof over his head at this point is beyond me.
I can't. If I tried to get into the sneaker game with all this others, it would no. The roof would be gone.
Paying
Neil, I got to get you in the sneakers, bro.
No.
You could get a $200 shoe and just pay $50 up front, and then pay the $50.
I will say this though, real quick. Speaking of hats, New Era unleashed their new, I guess the batting practice or whatever the new hats. Oh my!
You like that?
Oh, there's some winners in there.
They have the trucker back, right?
Yeah, they have a few. They have your low profile, your regular. You have the flex fits. I think they even did some snaps, if I'm not mistaken. But they have like a whole and there's like a solid color, and then there's grays. Oh.
I'm really happy I don't like those, so I don't need to worry about buying a Giants one.
The Walking Tigers there. The Phillies did a light powder blue one. And I'm thinking of the gray hats for like gray jerseys. I'm like, oh, this is going to be
combo wombo.
I'm staying away.
Combo wombo.
Yeah, stay away.
Yeah,
look away.
I got too much shit that I'm preoccupied with right now. Other than hats and shit like that. And
how's the vintage ski collection?
When's the move day?
Huh?
When's the move day?
I'm officially moving in March 10th.
Nice.
Oh, coming up.
Congratulations.
Move-in day. Yeah.
Congrats, bro.
So this month, you know, we're gonna probably spend time looking for a bed and obviously a couch. That's like probably the two biggest things.
A
I'm
little
just
more important.
super glad that our unit is or our space is not going to be like third floor, second floor. It's going
Are
to
you
be on
still in the Bay though? Are you still in the Bay Area?
I'm still in the Bay. Not very far from where I'm at right now.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
So it's not bad at all. My only thing, like I said, is just I don't have any movers, so I got to do all this shit by
We'll come
myself.
out there.
Huh?
We'll come out there.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
Listen,
Mac,
I look
me,
for a vacation
you got
anyway.
Jake, you got Adam.
Yeah.
We're four hefty men. We'll move a few things. We might have to sit down, you know.
Yeah.
Get our rest for a few minutes, for an hour or so, and then we'll do work for a couple minutes. Then we might have to sit down again.
Yeah, no, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys were out here in the West Coast, but you know, it's gonna take me some time. I might have to skip out a live or two while I do this transition. I know I'm taking some days off from work. I told my boss, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna need a couple of days off, you know, because I got to move a bunch of my shit."
Yo, man, don't tempt me. I'll come out there right now. Shit.
Come out, bro. Come out.
We'll work for jerseys.
Nah, there's a couple sneakers as that I want that I'll take as payment.
Yeah. I probably will though. I probably will consider getting like hiring some movers because I have a ton of
Do
shit.
it.
I have
It's
a
worth it, especially for the big stuff.
shit.
Especially for the big stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure you do your
It's
research
easier.
though, because there's a lot of fucking schemy people out there as far as moving companies are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure.
You can talk to Nostalgia Boy about that. Ask him about that.
Oh, he got something that happened to him?
Oh yeah, you hit him up later. I won't put his business out there, but yeah, trust me,
Okay.
he'll give you a story or two about fucking moving companies.
That's crazy. I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Because you got literally people, strangers, fucking moving your personal shit, and if they see something like, oh, this guy's got some shit. So,
Especially when you have so much stuff, it's easier for them to think you might miss a thing or not realize a thing or two are missing. You know what I mean?
well,
Mm,
the thing is, I'm not taking everything here with me. Obviously, there's no way I could fit because I'm moving into an apartment and it's our own spot, but it's not as big as my house. Obviously, the square feet is nowhere near what my house is, but it does allow me to space things out a little bit and have a little more tranquility and not just be fucking bombarded with hoodies, shirts, jerseys, toys, whatever, hats everywhere. So yeah, that's gonna be good. But yeah, no, like I definitely I think it'll help me too to like kind of figure out like process of elimination because I've been saying this, but I want to sell some of my stuff that I just don't see myself wearing. It's hard because everything I have right now is scattered. I have stuff in my storage, I have stuff here, I have stuff in another room. So it, you know, if I could get everything, you know, in one spot and kind of just pick out, okay, keep this, eliminate that, keep this, sell this, I think it'll help out a lot. And it'll also give me a peace of mind, I think, because you know, I don't know how you guys feel, but like when you get a bunch of shit or when you have just a lot of stuff, you start to stress. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it definitely affects me.
Bro, my biggest fear is moving at this point because fucking I'm like, where am I gonna put all this shit? Not only just in my house when I live there, but like getting it to there. Like there is so much. Just my fucking jerseys and sneakers, bro. Like I have no idea where I'm gonna put this shit. I'm not paying for a fucking storage unit.
Yeah, I have one and it's not fun.
Storage units are the worst.
Because you're literally just fucking paying to store your shit. So it's like really you're not really making money other than just fucking having shit just sit there. And that's kind of the goal. Like once we assess the situation, because we have a lot of our appliances and stuff in our unit currently, and some furniture pieces too. But like once we move that out, you know, we could really get a gauge of like, okay, do we still need this? Or is this something that we can have, but eventually want to get rid of at some point? Because they raise the price every fucking year. The price goes up like little by little, goes up every fucking year.
Yep.
And
mine's at like $200 now almost. It's
oh
insane.
shit. Isn't there is there a cap though? Like when that shit just stopped, like where they're like, no, we can't.
I don't know, man. It doesn't look like it.
Yeah. We got Russell Kelly in the building.
Bling King.
What's up, Bling King, aka Dallas them boys fan. Shout out to you, bro. But yeah, guys, so I think I'm gonna wrap things up here. We're gonna hit the 2-hour mark pretty soon. But again, I just want to thank everybody that tuned in this evening, man. You guys, I appreciate all of us here respecting each other. I know I posted in the beginning, it's kind of some guidelines. Whole purpose of doing that is just so first and foremost, my channel doesn't get shut down. Because I really want to make sure that we're doing to the best of our ability, following guidelines and stuff like that. And secondly, as sports fans, there's not too many sports fans out there that are as civil as we are. Trust me.
No.
I'll tell you, man. I've seen stories, I've seen memes, I've seen reels of people that are just fucking doing some wild ass shit. And first and foremost, I do want to apologize to all the Eagles fans out there. I was not the one that advocated to put a San Francisco 49ers shirt over the Rocky Balboa statue. I did not intend for that.
I actually welcome it now
I
because the last 3 times it was 38-7 against Minnesota, it was 38-7 against the Giants, and it was 31-7 against the Niners. So next year, if anyone wants to come for the playoffs and put stuff on the Rocky statue, go ahead. You might have fun then, but we have fun after.
I don't know who did that, but that's some ignorant ass shit.
Again, which also
I don't support that.
I don't support that type of
theory there.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Conspiracy theory there. Or maybe like some drunk Eagles fans did that or something.
To piss off the
You never know.
They were definitely the fans.
You never know, man.
They had the Brocky belt in front of the statue. Oh, they were feeling good that day. Oh, no. It didn't end well.
You know what we got to do? Next time the Eagles go in the playoffs, we're going to throw an Eagles jersey on there. See how that works.
Yeah.
Well,
Trust me.
Rocky likes that, Sly's an Eagles fan, so he's like, yeah.
No, I think it's just whoever's jersey is on this. So next year, I'm gonna come down to Philly when y'all in the playoffs, just for one day. I'm not even gonna come visit you, but you will know I was there.
It was nice of New York after the Eagles won the NFC to light up the Empire State Building in Eagles colors and tweet "Fly Eagles, fly." It was nice of them.
Fuck them.
Did you guys hear about that one?
I saw that.
Why did they do that?
Yeah,
it's
because New York is so hard up for championships. They're like, oh, we'll become like Philly adjacent. We need championships.
Some New Yorkers joked that they thought maybe the Jets got Aaron Rodgers or something. They're like, oh, Jets colors.
Nah. All right, guys. Well, I want to thank everybody again for tuning in this evening. If you guys missed this live or if you're catching the end of it, don't worry. I do these lives every Wednesdays, 6:30 p.m. That's the new time, guys. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Different topics every week. I do take requests. So if there's something that I didn't touch this week that you would like me to talk about in a future live, feel free to send me a DM here on YouTube or Instagram. I'm very live on Instagram and also Facebook Messenger if you want to message me there as well. I'm rooting for the Chiefs, man. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm not looking forward to both teams. Whoever's in right now, I could care less. But
yeah,
I had to get some revenge, some sweet revenge. Gotta go with the AFC this time around. But salute to everybody. Congrats again to the Eagles fans. Congrats to the Chiefs fans for making it to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be a really good game. Get your popcorn ready. And also for wrestling fans, WrestleMania, man, I think you guys need to watch wrestling right now. Catch up. Doesn't take very long. And also with the jerseys, All-Star Game is here. If you guys are excited for All-Star jerseys or anything jersey-wise, feel free to subscribe to all these guys' channels. They do great reviews and contents about jerseys and other things as well. I don't know if you have one, Adam. Did I miss you? Do you have a channel?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, if you want to talk,
I just come in here and harass y'all.
If you want to talk to shit to Adam or just send him some love, hit him up on Instagram. or Facebook. You know,
Yeah.
and
Don't do that.
tell them Rez sent you. And
I've got Neil harassing me all the time about the fucking Eagles, so I'm all
started
set.
it. I just finished it. You started it.
Oh my god. All right, guys. Well, have a good night, and
We're
hopefully
working
I'll
on
see
more
you guys next
blinking.
week, man. So take care, guys.
Have a good night, everybody.
Take care.